Welcome to Rainbow Soul Vodcast, where our Soulstrology comes forward to help you manage your everyday life, with forecasts and deep dives on natal charts and queer perspectives on the planets, transits, and more. A group discussion about upcoming transits with tips on how to read these transits in your own chart. Hollis offers years of wisdom and natal chart knowledge with Bright Hawk's positive perspective and Lacrosse's inquiry. We offer the complete queer astrology experience. Welcome to Rainbow Soul. Please help us by subscribing, sharing, and commenting and reviewing. You can also learn where else Rainbow Soul is offered on our website at rainbowsoul.show.
Hey,
Hello.
welcome. I'm Hollis Taylor, and I'm one of the astrologers here today at Rainbow Soul. And you can find out about my astrology readings and, follow me on my page. You could just follow the link below in the description or up in the comments, depending on where you are. It's divineandrogen.com. Anyway, and
I'm Lacrosse Ortiz, Jack of all trades, master of none, creator of the Fool's Journey Color Journal. You can find me on Spotify with Master of None, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram.
And unfortunately, Bright Hawk hurt her knee and she had to go to the doctor. But we are blessed with her recorded music, so at least we have that. We won't have her beautiful insights with the moon and things, but we do have the charts that she helped us prepare. And I'm going to see if today at the end, after I go through the main details, that at the end, maybe we might be able to go through all the different like signs, how the main transits this week will affect the different signs. It is a trine this week. It's actually a beautiful week. So just a little preview this week. It's going to be beautiful. So I want to invite you all to have a little meditation with me. We're going to use hi Barbara Collins and Barbara Pevick. We got a collection of Barbaras right now. So I just want to say hi to you all. And I'm just trying to check in on the group because sometimes we don't get those messages right away. So no, we're all right. Well, and I look forward to I'm sure more of you will tune in as we go. And this is this week's astrology forecast. So let's take a little minute to get centered and have a little meditation. Lacrosse, do you know how to start the music? Do you want me to do it?
I got it.
Okay. This is Bright Hawk music. Download it at her website. Just take a deep breath. That music, carry off any worries or concerns you might have. And as you get grounded and centered, yourself outside the edge, staring up along the sky. It's certainly cold. But you're comfortable in your dress in the moment. And as you stare up at the stars, they seem to go on forever. And you start to notice that there's a very, very looking planet starting to come into you. And as it comes closer, slowly zooms into you, and it's spinning around. And you become aware that this planet is very large in front of you. And this is the planet Jupiter. Jupiter's purpose is to help you experience fun and good. Jupiter loves to gift you your wishes. Jupiter loves to grant your wishes and bring your blessings. Jupiter's beloved heart reaches out to you. This is where your positive perspective is. This is where you connect with expansion. This is the planet that gives you a perspective that is positive and helpful. And as that planet to pull itself back into the constellation of Gemini, you can feel it leave its blessing within your heart. Feeling of gratitude, gift for an understanding, and as we come back into our present moment, into our present here and now, I welcome you to just put your hand on your heart and feel the goodness of Jupiter in your heart. Feel that blessing come into your here. Open your eyes on the present, in the here and now. All right. If you're wondering, I just want to make sure give the plug that's Bright Hawk's music. It's her album called Sacred Side Project that she recorded many years ago, but you can get it at her website. You can download it. It's just a few dollars and you can have it for yourself. You can also stream it on, just go to her page and follow her social media. It's on there. Bianca, she hurt her knee. Bianca's asking, where's my birthday twin? She hurt her knee. So she went to, so you can all send prayers, healing prayers to her. And she will happily accept any healing and blessings that you might send her as she tries to figure out why her knee swelled up like a balloon. So, considering that it actually happened on the day that Mercury went direct, which was Sunday, which was yesterday. Yeah. So in case you all noticed, Mercury went direct, and I'm a Virgo and Bright Hawk is a Virgo rising. So that's like when Mercury goes direct, it sometimes can kind of give you, it's kind of a speed bump. So if you have any kind of like speed bump or anything like that in the last day or so, or even today, that's probably Mercury going direct. It's trying to get going forward, which is what we want. It's been retrograde for a few weeks now, and it will be in its shadow for the week. When we say Mercury's in its shadow, it's just reviewing all the area that it went retrograde in. That's all it means. It doesn't mean, it just means usually that things finish up. Whatever, if there was some sort of trouble with Mercury retrograde, you'll probably find the solution during the direct motion. Okay, and so that's pretty much what's going on now. Hi, Patty Gallagher in the mediums group, and Candace, we're glad you're here. Welcome. It's good to have you with us today. And and you're welcome to ask any questions you like. I will do, I'm going to try to do at the end of our little brief going over the charts today. I am going to go over like each sign, what the main aspect this week will be like for your sign at the end of the broadcast. Okay, so first I'm going to go over what the whole week will look like for all of us and sort of an overview, and then I'll go into each sign, so like Aries and Taurus and Gemini, and I'll go through them all in order. Okay, so just in case you're listening, or you would like to if you're listening to this replay, you can after the main broadcast, you can just fast forward and listen to each one. Okay, so thanks for helping me today, Lacrosse. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
All right, well, all right, my friends, so if you take a look at the broadcast, you'll see that I hope these are the right ones. I just now realized this is the wrong one. Leave it to me. Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. Oh man. Okay, hold on a second. I'll get the file. Leave it to me to kind of like stumble over this, because I definitely got the document. It took me quite some time actually, and that's why we're a little late. So sorry if you were waiting for us a little bit earlier. I was just a little late because I was having some problems getting the charts. And so now we got them. So here's the proper dates. This is for the week of December 16th through December 22nd. So today, of course, is December 16th. And as I mentioned, Mercury goes direct today, and you'll be able to see that. That's happening in Sagittarius. So you want to look, where is Sagittarius in your chart? That's where Mercury is going to start making things go smoother for you, because Mars is also retrograde, and that can sometimes mess things up. Also, Mars retrograde, though, can sometimes be a blessing too, because it can bring end to conflict. It can make you think twice about conflict and things like that. So Mars has been in retrograde for a bit now, and it will mostly just affect what planets it moves over when it's on those planets in your chart. Okay, so currently it's in Leo. So if you have things going on in Leo, you might be noticing that Mars is you might have a hard time finding you might have a hard time finding which way to go, or feeling like you have enough energy or whatever. Sometimes that can be because Mars is retrograde. Okay, so Mars will be going backwards like that until February. Hi, Georgette. Georgette said hi, Hollis and Lacrosse. We're glad you're here. Welcome. And so Mercury's, like I said, going direct, and there is in the beginning of the week today, we do have a grand fire trine, which is Mercury and the North Node and Mars, which I think is all related. And just to say, a grand trine is easy. It's an easy blessing. It comes in and makes things easier for you. Okay. And so it's a, usually for fire, it's usually like manifestation or get your passions going. So this week, you're probably going to notice there's some things that maybe some things that you've been really wanting to do for yourself, maybe some self-care or something else that you've been really wanting to do. That's what's going to be happening this week. Okay. So you're going to really notice, you might be noticing some of that coming up. You might be kind of considering it if you're in Leo or something, because Mars is retrograde. You might not have the wherewithal to do it quite yet. You might be like kind of in your head, maybe I should do that. Like you're kind of thinking about it. Okay. Maybe you're thinking of the benefits and things like that. Now, on today, Venus is opposite Mars, which is going retrograde, but I feel like Mars loses its energy when it's retrograde. That's part of the problem. So I feel like most of you, if you've had relationship difficulties and it happened during Mercury retrograde, it's probably already started to resolve itself or will resolve itself. Okay. And that's probably what's going on there. Some people, because Venus represents relationships, and Mars and Venus usually together indicate, like anytime they're in what we call a conversation or an aspect, they sometimes indicate relationship things.
I was curious.
Go ahead. What was that?
You were saying look at your Sagittarius. Now, what happens when you're, like, let's say your Sagittarius is in between two houses?
Well,
Like,
then
it would
you want to
affect
look at
both those houses?
not necessarily. What we would want to look at is where in Sagittarius is Mercury, right?
Mhm.
So Mercury is at 6 degrees. You can see the number 6 right under Mercury up at the top of the chart there. Kind of looks like that little purple symbol. Kind of looks like a female symbol, except it has like a little half circle on its head.
Yeah.
That's Mercury. And it's at 6 degrees. So you want to see where Sagittarius begins. It's probably in the first, where would 6 degrees be? So most of the time, that if you're using Placidus, the houses are marked by a degree.
Okay.
Right? Do you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the house it will be affecting. So whatever house that is for you. Okay? Because this whole chart that you're looking at can totally just, you know, twist around. It can just, like, you can just come along here, and that's what happens in time. And maybe I'll show when I do the hour by hour, when I do the signs prediction, I'll try to show the chart, and you'll see how things just kind of move each hour. Okay. So Bianca said, I hope so. I have a lot of not really conflict, but really strained relationships. Yeah, Bianca, you'll probably, even though if it might be a little restrained today, you'll probably see better later this week. We'll talk about that in just a minute, because Venus is starting to trine Jupiter, which is our blessing planet. It's a benefic planet, which is a benefit. Okay. And that's why we say benefic, because it kind of means benefit. Okay. It means that it's good luck. It usually brings good things, even if it's retrograde. There's a funny thing I heard an astrologer talking about one time. Pretty sure. I'm actually not sure. I think I'm not sure exactly who it was at this time. But he said that when Jupiter is retrograde, it's actually asking for you to make your wish, and it will probably grant them when it go forward. And currently Jupiter is retrograde, has been retrograde since before the election. Okay. So that kind of happened. So just so you know, that is true. All right. So, then what we're moving on to is of course, the moon is waning in Cancer. So of course I'll let you know when it's void in Cancer. It's a little bit more about home. It's about, like, I know for me, I've been really focused on home and cleaning my house and, that kind of thing. So if you're feeling that way, you're probably with the moon right now. Okay. So that's probably what's going on there. And okay, so then this is Tuesday. You can see that blessing is still there, with your passions are still brewing inside of you. Maybe you haven't made any actions yet. You haven't actually made any choices to do anything quite yet. Venus is becoming stronger. She's moved out of opposition with Mars. So by Tuesday, Bianca, your relationship conflict should start to loosen up a little bit. You might even start to feel a little bit of romance, okay? You might even start to like kind of rekindle things, or at least feel love for each other. Even if it's not a romantic relationship, it could be other types of relationships, okay? And so you'll start feeling that kind of energy coming into Tuesday. And it looks like the moon is going to move into Leo that night at 6:30 p.m. It's going to go void. So the moon will be void on Tuesday night from 6:30 to 11:40. So interesting. So I wouldn't do any, and that's mountain time. So I wouldn't, if you're a psychic, I wouldn't do any readings, or if you do readings, yeah. But anyway, it's going to be void. So it just means no drama. It means things are kind of flat, and that can be kind of good depending on what you're doing. Okay. And I think if you're doing a reading, I don't necessarily think that that's a blessing, because then I think that if you do a psychic reading of some sort during that time, I feel like there's not that moment of wow, okay, right, which needs to happen during a reading, a private reading with someone. Okay, so for any readers out there, or anybody thinking about booking a reading, don't book a reading on Tuesday night after 6:30. Okay, so you could do it up to that, and that's mountain time. Okay, so and the energy is pretty much the same otherwise, and Venus is getting closer and closer to that trine that she will come into later on in the week. I think it perfects on Thursday. And so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is really and even probably over the weekend, you're probably going to feel strong energy in relation to romance or love connections, even with your family. And there could be some parties and stuff. That's what Jupiter in a trine with Venus, that's really what they're doing. They're really speaking to that kind of energy, like woohoo, we're having a great time. Okay, and that's really great, because that's what we need this time of year, right? Especially with the sun finishing up its transit in Sagittarius, that Sagittarian energy which we have at Christmas time. That's exactly what we kind of need, right, with Venus and Jupiter talking to each other. And there is a mystic rectangle. So, and it does have some major planets with it. It's got the moon there in Leo along with Mars. They're conjunct on this day at the same time. And then the south node up in Libra, and Pluto in the other corner in Aquarius, and the north node with Neptune. Yeah, Neptune. And so that creates this mystic rectangle. Usually that means anything that's meant to happen is going to come together really easily. And it's usually more of spiritual things, or even spiritual connections with people. Okay. And so if I was to suggest when to get a reading, I'd say get a reading on this day. Get a reading on Wednesday, or practice readings. If you're practicing psychic medium readings or something like that, do that on Wednesday, because Wednesday's a really good day for that kind of thing. I think during a mystic rectangle, psychic readings are usually really good, because I think mystic rectangles make certain things come to us, like help us understand something mystically in our lives, or like why we're here, or why that relationship's like that, or why is this happening. And I feel like you'll have those little aha moments during the reading if you get one during a mystic rectangle. Okay, so that would be, so you might have some awarenesses on Wednesday afternoon. That's the beauty of a mystic rectangle. Okay, it's just sort of like, oh, okay, like you just become aware. You might do something that actually works. You might find some sort of solution to a problem. Okay. And Thursday, Friday is that perfection of, like I said, Jupiter and Venus, which are having a great conversation. It's harmonious, it's beautiful, it's parties, it's love, it's romance, it's connections, it's feeling good, it's having wow moments, okay, because that's what Jupiter does for all of us. Jupiter is a benefic planet and loves to gift us things, okay, loves to gift us, loves to watch us celebrate love. And that's, Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, and that's where the sun is. So I feel like the sun is even sort of brightening that energy of the sun, of Venus and Jupiter's conversation this week. So it's actually a really great blessing this week. So I hope that you notice things are getting easier. For those that have a lot of planets in Leo, you might be feeling kind of some hiccups, and that's just because Mars is going retrograde on top of whatever planet is in Leo. Okay, so take a look at your chart. Leo looks like that sort of horseshoe, red horseshoe on the right hand side of this chart. And you can see Mars, which looks like a male symbol. It's also red, and you can see it has a red number, which means it's retrograde. And so it's going backwards towards Cancer. It's not there yet, probably won't get there till next week, but you can see here that it's going retrograde in Leo. So if you're looking at your chart and you're trying to learn, I'm telling you what to do. Look for that little red horseshoe looking symbol that is Leo on your chart. And that's, if there's no planets there, you won't notice it as much. Unless you happen to have things in Aquarius, you might feel it when it's directly across from whatever you have in Aquarius. So you can see here that Mars is at 4 degrees. See the number 4 there? So if you have anything around 4, 5, 6, 3 degrees, you might feel Mars going backwards on top of it this week. So just hang on, because Mars is bringing messages to you. Mars is trying to let you know what needs to be taken care of and how to improve your life, how to make life better for yourself. Okay. Now, with Jupiter and Venus talking like that, they're pretty much saying, your wishes, we want to make your wish come true. Make your wishes known. Speak your wishes out loud. So if you want to do any magic, you want to do any kind of, I'm going to be doing wish cones with the children, with my grandchildren. So that's kind of like a little thing where you just take a little pine cone and you write your wishes and your gratitude and anything you want to let go of for the year. And you kind of roll it up on a little piece of paper and stick it inside the cone. And then you dip that cone in a little bit of wax. And then you can either hang it on your tree or burn it in the fire. Either way, whatever you wished will come true. Okay, so this is the time to make wishes. This is now. Now is the time to make your wishes. Okay, because the universe does hear you, even if you think they don't. Now, Friday night is also Friday morning. Sorry, is a void moon from 5 in the morning till 7:30, and that's Mountain Time. So that's like 7 to 9:30 on Friday morning. So don't go to your boss and ask for that raise yet. Unless you're afraid drama is going to happen. Maybe that might be good. But I feel like a void moon, sometimes things won't really be noticed that much. So if you think you might not get noticed, not a good time. But if you're afraid some sort of drama is going to come up, then that's a good time to approach whatever that morning. So in Eastern time, that's going to be like from 7 to 9:30 in the morning, Eastern time, if that's your time zone, depending on your time zone. So that's 5:19 a.m. to 7:30 is the void moon. If you don't remember what a void moon is when things kind of just chill. There's no drama. There's nothing special going on. It's a good time to do anything that you don't want drama to come out of. Okay, so if you have to have a hard conversation, that's when you want to do it, during a void moon. Okay. All right. And then Saturday, we have that trine between Venus and Jupiter perfected. They're both blessed. They're both planets of blessing because Venus tends to bring money. It also tends to bring love and relationships. So the two of them having a good conversation during this time is actually a great blessing. So that's really what you should be listening to and really noticing the blessings and the mystical things coming together for you overall for most of us will be blessing us on that day, on Saturday. And it looks like the moon is also in a trine to Uranus, which is a good conversation. So you could have some surprises, okay? Some emotional surprises. Maybe someone surprises you with something or whatever it is. It just could be that you just had a really great time, you know? Maybe you went to a party or something like that, or you had a really great time getting to know people or something like that, um, especially with the moon in Virgo. It could also be about like health things or wellness or finally feeling good. Those kinds of things, like feeling like, woohoo, I feel good. And that will be a great blessing. So I feel like you got a lot of blessings coming this week. Okay. And Sunday is also kind of the same thing, except that there is a void moon pretty long on Sunday from 1:26 p.m. until 7 p.m. Okay, so that's pretty important to mark that on your calendar. Put it in your. I always tell my son, like, he's always like, how do I remember this stuff? I'm like, just put it in your calendar and then have it remind you. And especially Sunday night, if it's a good time to just relax, do some self-care, watch a movie with your loved one, just relax. Try not to let the drama come up and just allow it's time to take care of yourself. Okay? So it's really it's really mostly a great week. Lots of great blessings going on. And with the moon going void, even though it's opposite Neptune at that time, I feel like it's void. So anything with the moon is going to pretty much be non-dramatic. Okay, so that's really good. I think this week, isn't it nice to have isn't it nice to have a blessing week?
Yeah, it is.
I
This
think we
last
all
week
need
has
it.
been trying for me.
Yeah,
It
has it been
wasn't bad. It was just trying.
Yeah, just hard for you, like just some
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like I feel like everybody has a different thing going on. And so we're going to experiment with something right here. Um so what I'm doing is I'm starting with telling you how I'm just going to mostly focus on Venus and Jupiter, which you can see the line between them. That's a trine. Venus and Jupiter in a trine together. And I'm going to talk about how that's probably going to affect your lives. So first I'm going to start with Aries. Okay. Aries, this is Venus and Jupiter in a trine, and this is about like people this is your friends, this is people that have power over you. So your bosses, your coworkers, anybody like that, you're going to have a really great connection with them, particularly about your surroundings. So you could have like a great holiday party or something like that. You're going to feel connected to people. Even if you didn't feel connected to them before, you'll feel a little bit more connected to them, or at least like they're not trying to get you. Okay. And so for you Aries people, you're really going to notice this area with the people you work with, the people that are around you, friends, people you're connected with, in particular in your community. So it could just mean nice blessings for that. And that's that Aries. You can see Aries is on the left-hand side. Now you're going to watch as I change the hour, it's going to change to Taurus. And now Taurus, you're probably going to notice more something about work. You could get a great a promotion or some sort of a bonus or something at work. If you have a rising sign or your sun is in Taurus, you may notice that this week, at the end of the week, it will start to really increase. Something's at work is going to bring you blessings. Could be money, probably money. I would guess it would have something to do with money, but this is going to be really important to you because it's really going to help you feel like you deserve this. There's something about this, Taurus, that you deserve. Okay. So if you're a Taurus sun or a Taurus rising, that's where you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it there. Okay. And something at work is going to maybe you get a great bonus or something else. Okay. So something happens at work that really helps you feel like you're really valued at work. Okay. And that's really important to Taurus. Taurus is a manifester, is usually very reliable. So they want to be honored for that. Okay. And as we go forward, into Gemini. Now, Gemini, you're really going to probably feel this more in awareness. You might actually have some spiritual epiphanies or psychic abilities or even higher learning. Something about learning or coming to an awareness of something new that you didn't know before. That's pretty much what's going to happen for you. And that could even bring some relationships in. But what's more likely, you could have a relationship with someone that brings an awakening, if that makes sense. Like you could get a reading. So if you're Gemini, really great time to get a psychic reading because Venus is going to be in your 9th house of spirituality. If you're a Gemini rising or a Gemini sun, this is a really great time to really think about that. Okay. So, and Jupiter is in the 12th house. So you may not have seen it coming. This is going to be something that you didn't even think of. And somebody's going to say something, or you're going to have this spiritual awakening, or you're going to learn something new that's going to kind of blow your mind. And that's Gemini. Okay. And it's going to be a spiritual thing. It's going to be uplifting. It's going to feel good. Okay. It's going to be in a good way. So it's going to be like, wow, I didn't even think of it that way. Okay. And that's Gemini rising, Gemini sun. And now as we move on to Cancer, Cancer rising, Cancer sun, this is going to have a real expansion for you in like, it could obviously have to do with like other people's money, and it could also have something to do with like the occult, or even with death, or with things ending, or things coming to an end, or it could have something to do with sex. Absolutely. It tends to be a taboo topic. You could find yourself in friendships and gaining new friends with people that are in some sort of like, maybe with more of a taboo type of belief system or interest. So this is Cancer rising and Cancer sun. You may find somehow related to other people's money, some sort of blessing is going to come down on you in other people's money, particularly related to people you might work with, or your boss, or other people you know. Okay, in particular. Okay. And as we move on to Leo, this is going to have a lot to do with relationships. Okay. Relationships, Leo. This is going to have everything to do with relationships. This is, if you are a Leo sun or a Leo rising, you've probably been struggling with Mars going retrograde in your sign. You've probably had some things that have come up, maybe some challenging relationship things, and now all of a sudden you're gonna find a blessing. All of a sudden you're gonna figure it out. All of a sudden you're gonna figure out what your difference is with them, and you'll be able to settle your differences. This is in relation to not just love and romantic relationships, but certainly could be those, as well as other relationships with other people, friends, and things like that. And certainly a friend could become a romantic partner. So if you've been waiting for something like that to happen, now would be the time, Leo. So just pay attention to that, Leos. Pay attention to your relationships, particularly with people, okay? And as we move on to Virgo, this is going to be a lot about your day-to-day life, particularly work. Okay, this is going to be about blessings coming through work. It means that you might be getting, you might make a little bit more money, or you might get good luck, or some goodness is going to come. Some sort of blessing is going to come through your day-to-day life and with work. It could also have to do with health aspects. Maybe you feel a little bit better and you're able to get more work done, or whatever it is, or do better at work, or you finally get that job, or whatever it is. It will have a relation to wellness, day-to-day life, and work. Okay, for Virgos, it's going to have a lot to do with that. It could come through a relationship, but it's more likely to do with money, I would guess, just because it has a lot to do with work and your day-to-day life. Okay, and then as we get to Libra, it's going to be for you. It's going to be about romance. You're going to have spiritual awakenings because of romance. So that's kind of beautiful. You could really come to an awareness of a higher being, of a higher way of being, just because of a romantic relationship, or your children, or some sort of creative outlet of yours. So one of those three things is going to bring you this aha awareness, this like, ooh, this sort of spiritual awakening. So that's for Libra and Libra rising. So something to do with your kids, your romantic partner, or your creative, whatever creative thing you do. And that is going to bring an aha belief system in like, wow, you really opened my heart and made you more aware of something. You could also receive a little higher learning in the house of higher learning. So that's like, college, or, something like that. So you may even like try a new creative outlet, and boom, it helps you. Okay. So if you're a Libra sun or a Libra rising, you should be noticing that there. And then for Scorpio. Yep. So for Scorpio, it's going to have a lot to do with your home. Okay. So Scorpio rising, Scorpio sun, it's going to have a lot to do with home and your belief systems. It could have to do with like occult topics, or even other people's money, or things like that. Okay. And taboo topics, especially in your home. Okay. So in your home, that's where the blessing is going to come. It's going to come down in your home, and it probably have something to do with a taboo topic of some sort. And so just hang in there. It will be a blessing. Just know that that will be happening at the end of the week when Venus and Jupiter come into a trine. Okay, that's a great blessing for you. And then as we move into for Sagittarius's, it's been your birthday, or it's about to be your birthday. Happy birthday. And as we come to the end of Sagittarius season, I feel like it's really going to have a lot again to do with your relationships, particularly love relationships or community relationships. So that's even going to be like people that you spend every day with, people that live beside you, people that you work with, but it'd probably more likely be like your neighbors, your cousins, your siblings. Okay, those kinds of people. You're going to have some sort of blessing from them that's going to feel really good. That's going to feel like they really seen you, they really valued you. You're going to really feel loved and uplifted. Okay, and then as we move on into, that's for Sag. That was for Sagittarius rising, Sagittarius sun. And as we move into Aquarius, this is going to have a lot to do with money and your work in the world. Okay. So that's Capricorn.
Say Capricorn.
Yeah. Sorry, I jumped the gun on that one. So this is actually for Capricorns. It will be more about money and the work you're doing in the world. It will be a lot about like having you'll probably get some sort of increase in money, or you'll be paid a little bit more for the work you do in the world, or you'll get a bonus or something like that. And that's going to feel really good for Capricorns. Capricorns love to be appreciated. They love to be seen, and they're usually really reliable. So that's for Capricorn sun and rising. And then as we move into Aquarius, that's really going to have a lot to do with your creative outlet, helping you find yourself, finding your identity, getting in touch with something within you. That's going to feel really good for Aquarius. Aquarius, you're going to start really noticing that creative outlet is really blessing you. It's really bringing in a good feeling for you. Okay. So That's really good. That's an excellent, that's a great blessing for Aquarians. Your creative outlet. So if you're called to do some sort of creative outlet or something, go ahead and do that. And so then, sorry about that. Alexa sometimes likes to interrupt things. You ever notice that? Um, and then, okay. So that was Aquarius. So that's Aquarius Sun, Aquarius Rising. Creative outlets are going to help you understand something deeper about yourself. Okay. And then as we get into Pisces, that's really going to be about your home. It's really going to be about your home and maybe something you didn't notice before. You might suddenly become aware of something. It'll be a blessing. It will be like, wow, this is really sweet. I really love this about my home. Okay. And it could be that you really enjoy having people over or hosting people. Could also be in relation to your family of origin or the people that you're connected to when you were born. So that's for Pisces and Pisces rising. Okay.
Oh, that was really neat.
So did you see how things moved around like that?
Yeah. And it's interesting that I like when I'm looking at my chart, I don't look at what's connecting to what. And it's like that kind of gave me an aha moment, looking at it, visualizing it, and saying, oh, so it's going to affect here and here, not just.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is that like, so like if you're an Aries and a Libra, it's gonna probably be a mixture of those things, right? So like that's somebody just asked, Barbara asked what's happening for Aries, and that's going to be about your connections at work, about money and things like that. Um so I would just say that, like be aware that it's not just your sun, it's also your rising. And so those two kind of mix together. I notice that sometimes my sun sign is more the theme when we go through those kinds of things. But then sometimes like my rising sign is more the theme. And it might depend, I guess,
And it
on the
depends on where
placement.
it's. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And sometimes my sun sign is Virgo, and I feel like almost everything I do affects my job. So, but maybe that's just me, maybe that's just right now. So, but it's so you should expect a mixture. And sometimes I even watch the moon when I listen to horoscopes like that. I'll also listen to the moon one because I notice that I will have that theme, but it'll be more emotional,
Mm.
or it might be with someone I'm very close to. Okay. So those are the horoscopes. I hope you appreciate. Um, Georgette said, "Always appreciate your lives on astrology and thankful for a good week ahead." Finally, exactly, exactly. And I'm hoping that a lot of people appreciate that, and and I'm hoping that we can. We're trying different things out. So, did you like hearing your horoscope? Was that helpful for you? That's the kind of feedback we'd love to have. If you like the horoscope, let us know. So, Lacrosse, did you notice anything with the moon and the animals?
Well, we're in the season of the owl, and I find it interesting because owl really represents transformation.
Mm.
And that kind of coincides with what you're saying with that trine. It's like a lot of transformation. It's like even though they're like raptors, they're birds of prey, but they carry a lot of wisdom, and it's like people just automatically identify the owl with wisdom and stuff. So I think it's a matter of focusing on that transformation, using wisdom and good judgment, because the stars are saying this is the way it could go, but it's also if we don't use wisdom, it might not go the way we want it to go because we kind of jump ahead of the stars, we don't really pay attention or listen. So, I mean, I think it's really neat to see that. So I just recommend using a lot of wisdom with these things, with these blessings that are coming up. It's kind of like, somebody wins the lottery. Okay, so you won the lottery and this is great, but what do you do with the money? And next thing you know, they blow it on like, I don't know, like maybe like 2,000 pounds of ice cream. I don't know, but it's like
I don't know what
you
people
had the
do.
blessing, but what
Yeah.
do you do with the blessing? So I guess with the transformation, just use a lot of discernment.
Yeah, and I feel like definitely owls are very wise creatures. Um and they're very when you see them they always look like they're bundled up and their head moves,
Yeah.
opposite, like, and you're like, wow.
Well, it's crazy how their head moves around. I guess
I
in that
know.
too, look at all the areas that you have this gift of being able to look at all the different directions of what's happening. So
Right, so maybe like all their whole perspective, sort of
yeah,
like that's why Bright Hawk likes to be called a Bright Hawk, because she tends to want that perspective up here, um, like being able to see the whole picture. Yeah.
yeah,
All right. So Barbara said that I love that. Please keep doing that. I assume she means the horoscope. And it says it helps because I find this confusing as a newbie to the forecast, but showing how it will individually affect the sun and rising signs can make it easier to understand. Great, Barbara. Great. Um, because the horoscope that we're doing is very general, it's very sort of like for everyone. And you might miss some of those stuff if you currently have like some drama going on in your life because Mars is moving over top of your sun or something,
yeah,
like you might just miss all the blessings because you're too busy with whatever.
yeah.
And then if I get you to look back, you might go, oh, yeah, okay. All right. And Georgette also says she loved the horoscope forecast and that it was very helpful. So, all right. So I hear you guys, and I'm going to try to integrate that in. It's just mostly a movement of looking at the different signs like that and just going through. So, and picking out what's the most important thing this week, right? And I think the biggest theme is Jupiter and Venus's trine this week. I think we're really going to be blessed this week. There might be some things, but it would mostly be personal in your chart. All right, I'm going to pull 3 cards. And these 3 cards are for everyone. And this is for our week. And the first card that we have here is Justice, which is very Libra-like, right? So the Justice card is very much like Libra. And this is very much like weighing 2 sides, and maybe you've had some justice served, or maybe you felt like justice needed to be served in your relationship or something like that, or any other situation in your life. Maybe you're that Taurus waiting for someone to notice you at work. Okay, Justice, that's the Justice card, and that's in the past, and that's either wanting it or getting it. And that's the Justice card in the past. And then in the here and now, this is this week, right? This is the 8 of Cups. This is having our emotions in check. Maybe we've done whatever we got through, whatever was hard, and now we're moving towards the light. Thank goodness, solstice, right? The days will start to get lighter on Friday. Okay. And so that's exactly what's happening. So, by the way, happy solstice, winter for northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. Happy summer solstice. And so this is really about this card is so solstice like, right? This is the 8 of Cups, and this is about having our emotions in check and moving towards the light, running up towards the light. That's exactly what this card is like. We're ignoring what is hard and we're moving past it or overcoming it, and that's exactly what this is about. And then as we move forward into the future, this is the 3 of Wands, which is very much about our home and our intention to be home and to nest and to make our homes the safe and comfortable place we need it to be for the rest of the winter. And that's exactly what this is about. This is about creating and having that intention of having that beautiful home and having everything you need at your fingertips. So remember that this is about justice. This is about any justice that has been served or will be served, that has already happened. or realizing that justice needed to be served. That's really what this card is about. It's often about like something coming round right. Okay, and that's really what the Justice card is about. And then as we move forward into now, this is about moving into the light. Hey, we're moving into the light. Friday is solstice. Saturday is solstice. Happy solstice. And as we get to the light, happy Yule, we will realize the blessing of the light and how wonderful the light is in our lives. And as we're going forward, here is a nest. And this is about our nest going forward and how we can make our lives comfortable and safe for the rest of the winter. And that's really what our focus is going to be for the rest of this winter, creating a safe and happy place for us. Okay. So the other thing I wanted to mention is this week, Thursday is a Yule celebration. So if you're tuning in right now and you are feeling like you want to celebrate solstice, we are celebrating solstice on Thursday evening. Okay?
Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, that was a good reading. We needed
Thanks.
that. It really coincides with what's going on this week.
Yeah.
Thanks. Very exciting.
Yeah, I
look
appreciate it.
forward to a good week.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to a good week too. Happy solstice, everyone.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention solstice. And solstice is just the return of the light. And usually it can be a celebratory type of feeling. Usually it's a celebratory. And that's pretty much what my focus of the week has been, is it's more celebratory, like parties or gatherings or getting together. And everybody's kind of doing that right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that was a great reading, and this was a great week. So thank you, everybody, for coming and stopping in. Please make sure to like, share, subscribe, whatever you can do to support. And, what was I going to say? See, I'm losing it. I'm losing it.
Your brain is in your mind. I swear.
I'm like brain damaged. I'm trying to recover from the past week. And like I said, it wasn't a bad week. It was just a lot. I think with the new grandkid and everything, it's
and Mercury.
Right.
Mercury coming direct.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you for watching Rainbow Soulstrology, where we try to be a bridge between you and the stars. We'll see you next time.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to this week's Soulstrology and subscribing, liking, sharing, and reviewing. We hope you enjoy this dose of Soulstrology and encourage you to embrace the week ahead with an open mind and heart so that you may integrate the deepest of lessons from the stars. Take a moment to step outside and honor the planet, stars, and moon in the sky with your heart. Integrate the messages that resonate and leave the rest for someone else. We deeply appreciate each and every one of you. Always remember that you are a perfectly unique human with an exclusive star map of your destiny, your soul purpose, and your heart's desire. Thank you again for tuning in to Rainbow Soul.